Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and do you have tons and tons of little scraps that look like this that you don't want to throw away because they're so pretty, but you don't really know exactly what to do with them other than collage? Of course, you can always do that, but I don't want to collage everything. A lot of times I want to make something out of that particular scrap. So what we're going to make today is some little mini book charms to hang on your journals, or you can clip them on your journals. We'll put a little clip on the back and you clip them in either one. So we're going to make some little mini journals today. So these, I've just taken pieces of scraps like this, and I don't cut them or anything unless they're way too big. And I am just going to make, like that one will be made that size. Right there. It'll be a little bit tall, or you could cut it off if you don't want it that tall. That doesn't bother me. This one, I think it will only make, well, it might make two. This is a very hefty scrap right here. Yeah, we can get two out of this one. We'll make that a little bit narrower. And then there is one little journal. And there is another right there. So there's one. This is a beautiful scrap. Let's see, I'll need to cut that little piece right there off. This is scrapbook paper too, so it's a little bit thicker, so it's harder to use on a collage than just your regular printer paper or dyed papers. So I like to do something a little different with my scrapbook paper. I don't necessarily want to collage with them because they are a lot thicker. Now I'm going to fold this one in half. I think I am. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut it right in half. Now, we may get lots of covers made today, but we may not get very many actual little books made. I don't know. It'll depend on how much time we have. This is beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? But I want that flower to be on front. So what I'm going to do is, whoops, sorry about that. I'm going to cut that down a little bit. There's another scrap, but we'll put that over there. And, yeah. We will fold this one up, and now we've got that little rose on the front. Isn't that gorgeous? I like that. Here's a piece of music page. I'm just going to fold that over about like that. Now, of course, it does have to be pieces that are squared up, but if you're like me, most of your pieces are already squared up. All you need to do is just trim them down to the size you want. Now I might cut that one down just a little bit. I don't want too many tall ones, so I may cut that one down just a tiny bit, and then I can use that piece in something else. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so that's how fast, and I had a few folded prior to, but that's how fast you can fold these. And you could go ahead, you know, I have lots more little scraps. You could go ahead and just keep folding. Make a lot of these up, and then as you have scraps, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and make one out of this. And then as you have scraps of old book pages or pieces of dyed paper, then use them to make your little insert. I'm going to show you something to make out of these as well. And I know it's not new. A lot of you have already seen her video. It's from Carrie, Creating with Scraps. She does a very good job with those little pieces there. Let's make one that's a little bit long, like that. That would be fine. We'll just leave that little butterfly on there. And, ooh, let's see, what side do I want? I may want this side on this one. And it'll be a little bit long too. So, alright. Now what we're going to do is, I've got a lot of pieces pulled out here of just tea dyed paper, ink dyed paper, scrap, you know, that backing paper that I put on the back of my tags. I've got some pieces of old book page that have a lot of writing space, so we're going to use that, a paper bag, just tons of things. And we're going to start just tearing some pieces down that are about the size of our journal. So let's decide which one we want to start on. I think I'll start with this one. I love that. So all I need to do is I need to make this twice as big. That's my journal, about twice as big. So I'm going to tear it right there, and you see how I'm measuring. Tear it right there, and then I need to tear it down. Just going to turn my little journal that way, and we'll tear it down right there. Now this piece will still go in our pile to stamp on. Okay, so there is a little page already for your little booklet. Now you could, if you want to round the corners on these, which you know I probably will, you can always tear your little pages down just a little bit more. I'm just going to use this corner rounder, the one that's in the front. It just rounds just a tiny little piece, so it doesn't round it too much. And you can always put all your pages together and round them at one time if you want to, or you can leave them square. Okay, so that's our first page. So we will, I don't know if this will round in this, we'll see. Well, it did actually. Okay, so this is what we're going to use for our template, this little piece right here. And I'm just going to grab some different pieces and just start cutting and tearing to that size. And I won't make you sit and watch this whole thing because that'll be like watching paint dry. But I'm going to tear a bunch of these out, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how we can add these in, add the little hook on them so that they can be put in as a charm, or put your little pin on the back so they can be used to clip in your journal. So let me get a lot of these torn, and then we will get started. So we have quite a few little papers just torn apart, and now we are going to put this little journal together. Sorry, I had to get something off my finger. I had some glue stuck there. All right. Now you don't have to ink up all your pages, and I probably won't ink them all up on camera, but I am going to ink the outside, and I'll ink the inside. I can always ink the pages later. So all we're going to do is ink around that, and then I'm going to ink around the inside, and you can cover the inside with some paper if you want. I probably will just put some little embellishments on the inside. And then here are my pages. Let's just see which way we want these. That's a book page, just an old scrap piece of that paper like I like to use for the backings of my tags. That's a piece from Triple V Vintage. And there's an old book page. Now you don't want these too thick, so I may stop right there. I can always use some of that other paper on another one. You don't want them real thick. Now I am going to cut that little piece down a little bit because I think it's going to stick out. Okay. Right, that looks good right there. So what I'm going to do now is open this up to the center. Right there, and then I'm going to put a staple in it. Now if you want to stitch these and don't put staples in yours, you can do that, but I'm just going to put a staple in it because that's going to work. It's going to be quick, and for this little journal I think it's going to be fine if my stapler will reach. Let's see. Yes, it will. This is a Tim Holtz, and what I think I'll do, let's see, I may go from the outside in. This is a Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and as you can see the staple is very, very tiny. And then I just like to take my scissors and I press those down really well so that, you know, you won't hang your finger on them or anything like that. Now you could put 2 in there if you want. I think 1's all I'm going to do on this one. It's small enough, it's not going to hurt. And then right up here at the top, we're going to put a hole in there. Going to put a little hole. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to fold all of my pages back. Then right here, pretty close to that spine, I'm just going to put a little tiny hole. Now, that's the smallest hole punch I have. You might have one that's a little bit smaller. The smaller the hole, the better. But you need to make sure that you have some eyelets that will go in there. Let's see. We could use a little green one. That would be cute. I don't know what the smallest eyelet that you can get, but these are about as small as I can handle. They're tiny, and I don't know that if my big fingers would handle one any smaller or not. Okay, then we're just going to, okay, so there is your little eyelet in there. Now, you can cover this part on the inside if you want. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to let it hang there. It's not a big deal to me. All right, now you can attach this with a lot of different things. You can attach it just with string. You can attach it with a little chain. You can attach it with some twine. Just whatever you would want to attach it with. I'm thinking that I'm just going to put some string on mine. I have this green string hanging right here. I think the chain would be a little bit too big for this. I have some chain, but I'm thinking it would be too big. So I would just tie a knot in this. And you can adjust according to your journal. Okay, there is my little knot in it. And cut that off. And then you can pull your knot into the inside of that if you want. So that would be how I would hang it on the edge of my journal if I wanted to hang it on a little, let's see, where are they? Okay, these are the little pieces that you put on the end of your journal. I think y'all watched me put one of these on a journal that I did not long ago. So this would go through the spine of your journal, these prongs right here, and then this would hang on the outside. So there is your little loop right there. So this could be tied in your little loop. You know, you could tie that in the loop and it would hang down like that on the side of your journal. Or you could use a little chain if you wanted and hook it that way. Or you could just put a little hole in your journal and tie it on there. I'll show you how I do that in just a minute. But I want to put a little bit of something on the front of this journal. So let's lay that aside. I want to, I don't know, a flower or something right there. And it's going to have to be very, very small. Okay, I think I'll put this little flower on there. I'll have to trim the bottom of it off, but that's not a problem at all. And then I'll show you how that will keep it closed. Now, you could put little tiny closures on these if you wanted. But I think I might just put some twine on mine to keep it closed. I think that will be good enough. Okay. And then make sure that you rub these down really well. Look at that. That's cute. Then we're also going to put a little tiny label on that. This is one of the reasons why I made these little tiny labels. When you have a little piece like this that is very, very small, you don't want a big label on there. So let's put memories. Now, any of your labels that you purchase, like the Tracy Fox labels, I could print those 2 to a page and they would be small too. So it's not that I just made these labels as small. I just printed them 2 to a page. Or you can print them 4 to a page, whatever you would like, ever what size you want. Alright, and then right here at the bottom, I'm just going to put that memories. Trim that off a little bit more. Okay, and if you want to make sure that all of that little white around there is covered up, just take your little brush, dip it in your ink, and just go across it like that. Okay, so let's do a tie on this. Now I think I'm just going to use another piece of the string to put a little tie on it. Maybe a bow right in the front. Now you get to watch me try to make a bow on camera. Oh, I'm all fingers when it comes, no, I'm all thumbs when it comes to making bows. Okay. So there is our little closure, and there's our little journal. Okay, if I wanted to clip it to this journal, which it would go okay, I guess. This one I wouldn't put one of these in, and we do have these in stock as well. I'll try to remember to link them below because it doesn't have a really thick spine. I would just punch a little hole in here, and let's do that. And I think I would want it closer to the front than the back. You could punch it right in the spine if you wanted, but I'm going to punch mine just a little bit to the front. There we go. Just a little tiny hole. Again, you can put an eyelet in there. Let's see what color eyelet would work. I don't know. I need a black one. Okay, since I don't have a black one right here with me, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to this one. It's just another way that you can hang it on your journal. So, I'm just going to grab one of these little brads, and it's just a little heart. And I'm going to put that through there. But I'm not going to tighten it up all the way. I'm just going to leave it a little bit loose. Okay, there, it's loose. It'll spin around. And now, what did I do with my little journal? There it is. Now, you can take your little journal string and go right behind that. Like that, and then you have your little journal hanging from that. And I would probably shorten that string just a little bit so it wouldn't hang down quite so far, but there is your little journal hanging from that brad. And once you get that string under there, you can tighten that brad up and it's not going to go anywhere. But that is just one idea. And then another, like I said, you could hang it through the hole by putting another little eyelet there, and I don't have the right color eyelet to do that right here, but that's another way that you can do them. Okay, so let's make another, and these are so much fun to make. I mean, you're using just pieces of everything that you have laying around. Let's see, which one did I want to use this for? Oh, let's do this. Let's make this one. Now, this one, I put a little piece of vellum, a little scrap piece that I had, and then this is just some scrap pieces of paper that I had laying around. So, we're going to put those in there like that. You don't need many pages. Don't want many pages because then it would be too bulky. Okay, put that there. And that's going to go on the inside like that. I am going to trim this little tiny piece right here off because it wants to stick out there. Now I'm going to go ahead and round these corners with my smallest little corner rounder. And then we'll go ahead and ink. Now you could ink in a different color if you wanted. You could ink in pink or red, whatever color you want to use. I'm just going to ink like this for now. And I'll go ahead and ink on the inside. Now this inside I will cover because it's actually upside down, as you can see, but I wanted this rose right here on the front. So that's just the way it's going to be. And I'll just cover some of that with some embellishments on there. Not a biggie. What do we say? Not going to worry about it. Okay, I do want to go from the outside in. And I think I'll put 2 little staples in this since it's a little bit taller. I don't know if we have any more of these or not, but if we do, I'll link them below. They're fantastic. See how tiny those little staples are? I don't know if you can even see them or not. They're teeny tiny. Might can see them on the inside better. Okay, so we've got that little piece. There's a little notebook already made. All we have to do now is just put the little hole in it. And I like to put my little hole on the front. I don't like to put it on the spine part because that tends to make it bulge out. So I put it on the front. See what we have in here that might work. Oh, we've got some deep pink ones that would work. And my fingers are all inked up. Hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. I've been doing videos all morning trying to get caught up. I've still got about 5 behind. Okay, there we go. Get that little eyelet in there. And you could also hang a little charm from that. That would be cute. Let's see. Do we have any string right here? I don't know if I have any right here. Ooh. I don't know if I have any here that would be the right color. Could put some red on there, I guess. Well, I have a little bit of white. So I guess we could do white. Let me look at my baker's twine just a minute. Hold on. Okay, see which one of the... I think this one's going to work better. And it won't take much to tie the top. And of course, if I was putting this right on a journal, I wouldn't even worry about putting this on right now. I would wait and put it on the journal and then tie it. But I'm just tying these so that you can see kind of what it looks like when it's finished. Okay. So there is your little hanging part. And then you can also put another little piece of string around it to hold it closed. Let's see, do we want to put anything else on there? I think I will just use a little label. Just a little tiny label of some kind. See what this looks like on there. I'm not sure. It's a little bit redder than that, but I can probably tone it down. Yeah, let's just tone it down a little bit with our brown ink, and then I think it'll work. Now, I'll tell you what we could do on these little flowers right here. It has some of that little mesh on the edge. Let's just cut that off. We'll glue a piece of that down with it. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's a little bit bright, but it'll be okay. And then we're just going to take a little string and tie it. Okay, so there is your little bow on that one. So that one's finished and ready to go on a journal. Okay, let's do one that we're just going to clip on a journal. So that should be about the right size right there. It's going to be a little bit wide, so we'll tear that off. Okay, we're going to do one now that we're going to clip on. We're going to have a pin on the back of it. So let's see. I want that to be the front, I think, right there. And this is a very thick paper, so I'm going to get my corner rounder and use it, or my chomper. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that one will go in there. Not sure about this one. It may be too wide. No, it actually fits. And I'll just fold some of these and see if they're going to work. If not, we'll trim them off. Okay, let's put this signature together. So I think I'll use it that way. Then a book page piece, and then that one, and we'll put this one in the middle. Just like that. And let's make sure that everything fits. If it doesn't, we can trim it down. It's not a problem. Yeah, I'm going to trim just a tiny bit right here on the edge because one of those is sticking out just a little bit. That works right there. Right, then I'm going to use my stapler, tiny attacher, and I'm going to do 2 staples in this one just because it's a little bit taller. And then we're going to ink it up. Right, now this calls for a medium-sized paper clip. Let's see if I have one. I have just about used all of my larger paper clips up. There's one, I think, way down at the bottom. Nope. Well, you know what? Since we can't find a medium-sized one, I have made so many little clips, I've already used them all up. We're just going to use that one. I think that will be fine. Alright, before I get ready to put that on, I'm going to cut another piece that's almost the same size of this. And I think I have one laying right here somewhere. So just another little scrap, and this just happens to be the same paper, but it doesn't have to be. You can use any paper that you have. I'm just going to use this one. Okay, we're going to ink this up. Okay, make sure that this fits. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Now I'm going to use some, if I can get it out of here, I'm going to use some of this tape. It'll just hold that paper clip down better. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to cut the tape in half since I have a small paper clip. And this is just score tape. It's a double-sided tape. And then you want to put the top part that's just a single part of your paper clip on there first. So let's put that like that. Okay. Then I'm just going to use that other piece of that same tape to put right across that, hopefully holding it in place. If I had my hot glue gun hooked up, I would use my hot glue on this, but I don't. I don't have it hooked up right here. So we're just going to use this. Now this is going to glue right there at the top, just like that. That tape should hold it. Going to make sure that it's held on all sides, and it looks like it is. So then let's grab a piece of paper. Well, let's just grab this journal again. All right, let's say we wanted to put it right here. You would just slide it down in there just like that. That is your little clip. Now, it's going to stick up just a little bit because of the way your paper clip had to be attached to that, but that's the way all of them are. But you could go ahead and decorate that up, and it wouldn't even show on the outside if you didn't want it to. Or you could clip it, like if you had a little pocket down here somewhere. Let's just say, let me find a little pocket. If I have a pocket in here. All right, we could just clip it here. If I can get my fingers to work. And then it'd be on the inside of your journal. So you could clip it like that. Okay, let's go ahead and put a little bit of embellishment on the front of this one. And then that is going to be ready to go. Let's see. We could put a little Velcro closure on this. Say that 10 times. Let's just cut. Let me get my trimmer. Let's cut just a tiny little piece. Just a little bitty. Little bitty. And then need to be about that long. And then I'm just going to go ahead and round these corners down here. There we go. And that'll go there. And then I'll just finger fold it around and put it close to the middle. And then this side I'm just going to cut off about right there. Okay, go ahead and ink this little piece. Now, from where I folded it back, I'm going to put a little piece of score tape. That's going to hold it real secure. You could use just your wet glue if you want to. It doesn't matter. Since I have this out, I'll just use this right back here on the back. Go ahead and cut that off. I know this seems really fiddly, but sometimes, you know, you just have to have other things that you want to do with your little scrap pieces. And I just think sometimes these little pieces look great. Let me make sure I get this on the front and not the back. Okay, that's the back. This is the front. Now, on the back, I'm going to put my little attachment under this. You don't want it on top, because that's going to close your little clip up. And then we're going to fold it around like that. Now, where is my little... I have cut one of these little pieces in half. This is just a little piece of Velcro. Cut one in half because the whole one is way too big. And we're going to put it right on the end. And then just fold that around. Like I said, I just double checking to make sure I do. Fold that around, and there's your little closure on that. Isn't that cute? And we could put just a tiny little piece of bling right there. Let's just grab one of these little tiny pieces right here. Now that blends. Let's put the darker one. There we go. And now I want something on there to just give it a little bit of decoration. So let me see what I have. Okay, I have some of these little blue flowers that are gorgeous. I don't think I want the pink on there, but I'm just going to cut these out and use the blue. And I can use that little pink piece somewhere else. Okay. Let's find another one and cut it. Let's just go ahead and put this little purple one on there too, just like that. Now, let's see. What else do I want behind there? Okay, we're going to glue these down. And then I might have a little tiny butterfly that I can put on here. When you have flowers, there's always little butterflies. Okay, when you have enough glue on your hands, everything sticks to you and not the paper. There we go. Those are cute. Okay, now let's see about our tiny butterfly. I don't know, it might be too big, actually. Well, maybe not. It'll just look like the little butterflies in the foreground and those are in the background, so that'll work. We'll put it down. I could have pulled out one of my little paper butterflies. Okay, and then that calls for a little tiny piece of bling. Just fill that little hole full. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that one on there. It's a little bit bigger, but I didn't want to put the same size that I've got right there. So I think that'll work. So there is another little notebook, and this is one that clips onto your page. Isn't that cute? Alright guys, I think that is all that we're going to do on these today. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, if you make these, go over and share them on our Facebook page. We would love to see what you do. Let me find my other one. Oh, it's right here attached to this journal. There we go. Alright, that is it. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.